Hi everyone, welcome back. We're doing the last week now, week 11 place. So this is now where we get to deliver the value proposition to the consumer market. So we're at the end of going through the process of making and delivering value. By now you should have a good understanding, as long as you've been keeping up to date with the course, you should have a good understanding of how to make and deliver value. Okay, so one of the questions I get asked a lot about this week is value versus supply chain. So what's the difference between a value chain and a supply chain? Value chain is all about the adding of value, all the way from the production of the product all the way to where the end consumer uses the product. Whereas the supply chain is the actual specifics of doing that. So the operational side of things or the functional side of making that happen. So hopefully that clarifies things for you. Now, the value chain itself is an opportunity, as I said, where we get to add value all the way from the inbound raw products, even all the way through to after the consumer has purchased the product. So something like post-sales customer service could be a way of adding additional value to the product. The supply chain is looking at what goes into making up each of these attributes of the production process itself. So from the very first start of the raw material all the way through to consumers themselves. And what we look at here is ways we can customize the supply chain to then help the value chain occur. Intermediaries are the real big theory for this week in terms of practical sense and applied sense, particularly as we see later on this week with retailing. So intermediaries, we can have different roles and purposes and different names for them, like agents or retailers, but whatever name you have for them, the intermediaries are very, very important in helping us get our product to the consumer markets in an effective way. The thing about doing this though, we have to give up control and profit to the intermediary to some degree, to some extent. Otherwise, there's no reason for them to do it. And by so doing, we start to lose control over how the consumer might actually see our product at the end of the day. So this is where it can hamper us in practice. So it's a big decision to make. How much control do you give to the intermediary and how much profit do you give as well? So it's a big decision to make in marketing. Linked into this is logistics. Now logistics, of course, very, very important. And logistics serves different functions, but it's a very, very practical side of this theory in practice is getting the product from where it's made to the consumer. For example, Woolworths has a turnaround time of doing that on average of about 2 to 3 days. It can depend, but on average between 2 and 3 days, they can get the product from the manufacturer to your shelf in that sort of time frame is amazing. The quicker you can do that obviously means the more product you can sell, the more product you can sell, the more you can make, the more you can make, the more profitable your company is, which is really important in an industry like FMCG or fast moving consumer goods, where logistics have such a critical role to play in making sure that can happen effectively. Leads us on to retailing quite perfectly. So in retailing, the two big theories we'll look at here in the summary slides are the evolution of retailing and the types of retail stores there are. So retailing has evolved quite dramatically of late thanks to the internet, but now of course more lately apps and mobile devices, which have really changed the face of retailing and made more of us go online to buy our products. Still though, to be honest, most of our sales of retailing products is done offline. It is done in a traditional retail setting, and we can see the different types of retail stores we go to on a weekend. Retail is still quite significant and quite important offline. I don't think it'll die anytime soon. Even though online will keep on increasing, we still need to go off to the shops and buy some products. Okay, well that's it for this week and for the course. Black screen, fade out time. It's enough from me. Thanks for listening, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed these summary slides. Any comments or questions or feedback, please let me know, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.